Welcome to Bigfoot Society. If you have Bigfoot activity to report from the same areas discussed in this episode, please reach out to me directly after this episode. And if you'd like to be on the podcast to discuss a personal Bigfoot encounter, please reach out to me directly at bigfootsociety@gmail.com. Do you wish there was more Bigfoot Society to listen to every week? Well, there is now. If you become a supporting member over at Patreon, you get a special members-only episode every single week on Wednesdays, and sometimes even more episodes. Head on over to patreon.com/the Bigfoot Society. And now let's get on with the show. All right, Bigfoot Society, you've got the privilege of talking to Cody today. Cody's an individual I got connected to over on Facebook, I believe. And he is a researcher that goes out with the Ohio Nite Stalkers in the great state of Ohio. He's on the show today to share about some interesting things he's experienced over the years. So how's it going, Cody?
It's going good. How's it going up there?
Oh, doing great. We're having a beautiful 70-degree day in Iowa, and hopefully the weather's good for you guys out there too. It'll probably be coming your way.
It's 74 today.
Oh man, well there you go. Perfect squatching weather, right? Who knows?
I can't stand winter.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm a summer boy.
The summer boy. Well, we'll probably be both out there before we know it. The good months are coming soon. But you know, Cody, when I have an individual on the show like yourself, where you know you're not just a person that's had an encounter, but you actively do this research, I do always like to ask you, how was it that you first got into the Bigfoot field to begin with?
So what got me into the Bigfoot field was the 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film in Bluff Creek, California.
Absolutely.
That was the one that really grabbed my attention, and it was just stuck on me since I've seen it.
I mean, that is such a great way to be introduced to the field. And then, you know, what was it that made you? Was there a certain time when you got involved with this group, or did you just start going out and trying to find it yourself?
So I got with the Ohio Nite Stalkers in I want to say it was 2015, late 2015, summer 2015 to early 2016. That's what I want to say. I met them through some social media, some socials, and I was talking about like Bigfoot shows, like Finding Bigfoot, because that was going on at the time. And then I got in contact with them, and I've been going out ever since then with them. The Ohio Nite Stalkers are ran by Mike Feltner, which Mike Feltner is going to be taking a year off. That's what to take a little break off. But what they do is they go around like library lectures, talking about their experiences that happened in 2014 and all that. And then they go. What they do in the field is the pool. We have private property we go to. Now we get OKs to go to, because we don't just go to random people's properties or around people's properties, because that can be in bad, and it's not you want to get okay up to where we go at. And they have spot. So what we do, we get chairs, and we park facing outward, sort of the way to go out, and we find spots that are no outlet, like no houses are on, and just basically public land. What we do is we have two cars, and we face out to in case something goes haywire and you need to get out of there, and it's just for safety. It makes you feel a little safe. And we put chairs in the middle where we sit at, and we go like in a little circle, so we have a 360 view around each other, so we can see things from different views. And we sit in the dark woods with no lights, only red when we need them, and then and we just sit there. We'll talk for a while, then we'll go quiet, and we'll just be normal, not too loud, to see if they can draw a curiosity towards us.
That's interesting, Cody. I've done some similar things out in Oregon. I think it's, you know, when I first experienced the group I was out with, and they're like, "Yeah, we need to turn our cars around." I mean, that was a new thing for me. You know, things can get a little wild when you go out in some of these areas, so you need to be ready to get out of there. And I think maybe more people need to be prepared just in case in that way. But
yeah, We carry, but we don't plan on shooting them at all. We carry just for safety because others, not just Bigfoots in the woods. There's other animals you have to watch out for.
Oh, absolutely. And do you focus on a specific part of Ohio, or do you guys just go around all parts of the state?
The main spot we go is Adams County. We go there. It's just a lot of history down there, and there's a park that I live nearby, a state park that I live nearby that I go to a lot to do some investigations. Like those footprints I sent you on there is all from the state park.
Gotcha. So mostly Adams County, you said.
Yeah, that's our main spot. That's our main spot. That's all bread and butter. That's our hot spot. That's our sweet spot.
Fantastic. So that is, I'm looking at a map right there. Pretty much, we're talking about Southwest Ohio.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's that's a pretty wild area down there. There's, I've gotten a few interesting people I've talked to from that area as well over the years. But Cody, feel free to, if you wouldn't mind. I know you've come to the show today to share a few interesting things that you've experienced while looking out for Sasquatch. And do you mind taking us back to that time when you had those experiences?
I'll tell you a recent one, and I'll go tell you a little backstory of the recordings. But so last October we went a spot, won a new area, it's private property, and Mike Miller, he's seen something in the tree line while me and the other group members walked up a little bit, and this thing shook Miller so bad. I've never seen Miller so shooken, and he's seen this kind of, I don't know, it was a Sasquatch that was in the tree line, but the moon was on it correctly. And you can see the moon like glowing on it a little bit, and you can see the hair on it, like the wavy hair and stuff. And then after we seen that, about an hour later, I went back because I got a Fox Pro game caller that has like animal sounds on it and etc. and all that. And we use that to see if we can draw stuff in, to see if we can draw anything in to get into that. And I had to go back because it has a sleep mode on it. So after I don't touch it for a while, like I hit the mode before it'll fall asleep. So I had to go back to get it turned back on. And as I was walking up behind this Jeep, I seen this. It was at least 8 foot tall. I want to say in that general range. And that walk that Bigfoots have when they're kind of scrunched over, and you see how they like quick.
Yeah.
And when the moon was shining just enough where I could see the black silhouette of it, I could see it took at least 3 steps across this gravel road, and the way that the head did not bobble at all, it was just smoothly going. It was in the tree line at least in 3 steps at that.
Do multiple people have a sighting of it as well?
Miller, he had it before. So Miller had his sighting before I seen mine of it, which I can see. I can talk to him, get him on here for you, so he can tell you his side of the story. And I've never they had stuff like 2014 to do they had a lot of stuff happening in 2014, but I wasn't there for that because I didn't get with them till the following year like 15 or 16, and so that's why we park our ways out, because they've had stuff happen in 2014 that like unbelievable stuff, like recordings. Like some of these recordings I use is like the howling I have that I supposed to send you. We was all there on a private property, and that one really shook me.
Gotcha. So when you had this sighting yourself of the thing that crossed the road, how did you react to that emotionally? How were you feeling at that time?
When I seen it, when I first seen it, I was like in my head, I was running through my head because I've always believed the real, like what the Patterson-Gimlin film, but I actually seen one, and I've never actually like seen one. I've had activity, but I never actually seen seen one like in front of me. And when I seen that, I almost like froze, and like I stopped, and I just watched it go. And then once it hit the tree line, I had to get my adrenaline down a little bit because I was trying to process what just happened.
You know, some people.
I was just in utterly shock.
Absolutely, yes. I was just going to say some people have different ways of reacting to something like that. And I've not had a sighting myself yet, but you know, some people they freak out, they start running away. Some people run towards it. Some people just freeze. And it sounded like you were in shock. Like. Yeah.
I thought I was shocked, and it's like in my head, I'm like, I just seen one, and you have to be lucky to see one. I really think you have to have I think you have to be in the right mindset, and mind space for you to see one.
So after you saw that, it sounded like did it keep walking then across the road and into the woods?
Yeah, it crossed the roads and it crossed the gravel road, and where it went in at, which it went to the right, where there's a little creek down there, and you could hear the water kind of splash with it. Then hear the crunching of the twigs and stuff, like went up the little hill, and then it slowly started fading away, and then it started fading away. Then it got dead silent where it went at.
So then that happens, and what happens in your group after that interaction? What did people do?
I went back and I told him what I seen, and then when Miller an hour, like probably about an hour before I seen it, like maybe a little earlier, he seen, I think he's seen a different one compared to mine. I think his was more of a bigger one, and mine was more the young juvenile one.
Interesting.
Well, it could have been the same one. It could have went back to the tree line, came around, and went to the front, and like to the back of the truck, and it could have back of the Jeep, and it could have like circled around.
How did having this sighting affect you afterwards?
Well, it affected me. It affected me. I couldn't sleep for at least probably 3 days where I couldn't get a full night's sleep. I'm like, my mind's like, oh my God, like it won't shut off. And I go back, and when we go back there, I don't know how I'm going to react to that, because we're on the off season right now, which will be picking up before long. And I'm probably going to be, like trying to go through my head of that night of events where I seen that thing happen.
So you haven't been back to that same area since?
No, we haven't been back since October. Because November through the February and kind of March, we don't go out. We kind of just let it go a little bit, and we try to just like regroup and like give our spots a break so we don't overkill it.
Yeah, that
and
makes
bigfooting
sense.
in the winter is not fun.
I imagine it's not. When you were having the trouble going to sleep for 3 days afterwards, what was it that kept running through your head that was keeping you from going to sleep?
Just when I would close my eyes, I replayed the whole event of seeing that thing cross there. And when I did close my eyes, looking straight up, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, wow, I'm lucky to see. I feel really lucky to see this, but at the same time, am I lucky? But I really feel like I'm lucky that I got to see one, because not a lot of people get to see one.
You just said, am I really lucky though? Do you think there could be a negative aspect to being a person that actually gets to see one of these creatures?
I don't know about negative. I just feel like until you see one, you don't really like fully believe it. Like you believe it, but you're not like fully like, yes, this thing's real. But when you see it, it like sits your mind, and it's like, wow, these things are really real. And like, what are these things here for? Are they like, what are they here for? They're here for a reason. Like, there's a reason why they are roaming these woods.
That's a good way to look at it. After you had that sighting, did it clear up any questions you had in your mind about Bigfoot before the sighting?
The thing it cleared up is like, the thing it cleared up in my mind the most part is how they move along, how they move, and how they like how they walk around things and like how they do those daily living things. And is it what it really threw me? It really threw my because I used to like I'm not a skeptic, but I used to try to rule out everything that I think is a possibility anyway. And I try to be I try to do as realistic as possible. And after that happened, my whole mindset's like things just start coming to my head. It's like so I've seen this stuff before. Like I've seen the footprints, I've heard them, and now I've seen one move be in front of me, and now I always run. Now I'm kind of wondering like how do they move along these woods and like all these areas without being seen so much. And there's a lot of woods that are not discovered, so that's one reason. But it's just the way they move at night and even during the daytime. I think they're out during the daytime a lot of times. And I think they have a daytime hunt. I think they have a daytime watchers, and then they have the night thing, kind of like the watcher stuff. Like they watch, make sure everything's there. And it's just everything that I didn't know, like everything that I thought I knew, was changed completely.
The way that you saw it move, how would you describe that? People usually describe that movement in some very interesting ways.
It almost the way I seen it, it was almost like a ghost gliding, and the head. You know, when a person walks, you see the head bobble. You didn't see no head bobble, and you just seen the way it moved was just so smooth, and it's like it did it with ease, and no bounce of the head or anything, no bouncing.
After you had the sighting, did it make you want to go out there even more to have more interactions like that, or did it make you kind of want to hold back a little bit?
It makes me want to. It makes me want to go more. It makes me want to more. It makes me want to just go and keep going and keep going and keep going.
What was the rest of the group's reaction to you having your first sighting?
When Mike was still trying to get over his one thing he's seen. So, and I told him that, and we got around, talked for a minute, and I was like, and we're blown away, and it's like I seen, like I said this multiple times that night. Like I seen my first Bigfoot multiple times, and I was almost quiet the rest of the night because I wanted to see it again, which a lot of times it don't happen. And but we talked about it. We ruled out what it could have been and stuff, and it's just. It was just one of those nights like we had bad. I think that day it rained earlier in the day, and this where the spot's at, it was kind of like they're trying to cutting some old tree growth down, and still it's woods, but they're cutting down some tree growth to get some of the tree growth away so it doesn't animal population and all that, like beetles and stuff. So I think it might have some beetles. I'm not entirely sure, but we talked for a good 30 minutes about like being in the like you have to be it's almost like you're chosen to see them, and when you see them, you see them, you want to see them again.
That's really interesting. Why do you think a person would be chosen to see one of these creatures?
Maybe they can read what kind of maybe they can read you a little bit, and they can tell you if they can tell if you're going to harm them or not, or if you're just there in peace and stuff. And I think they know because the ones that they know who we are, they know, and I think we've kind of gained a little trust with them through the years.
What kind of things has the group had to do to gain their trust over the years?
We would gift them like peanut butter, apples and stuff, and we would just leave like little like natives say, leave a little gift for them. We would leave like small little gifts, like food, like small little snacks and stuff for them that wouldn't harm them. I think after doing all that doing like giving them peanut butter and stuff, like apples and stuff, I think we gained the trust from them that they know that we're not going to be there to harm them. We're just here to learn about them.
Was there a time where it was evident that the group did not have their trust?
When they so we found this new spot, which the rocks that I sent you is that's in 2020 that summer. That's before we started. That's before we gifted them in that area, and they didn't seem to want us back there. And we think maybe we got close to the little den where they was raising the young ones and stuff, and I don't think they liked that, and they did not want us any closer.
Very interesting. Is that interaction that you had where it was crossing the road, is that the closest or the best visual that you've been able to have over the years?
That is the best visual I've had over the years. And I want to see it again, but a lot of times when you see it once, you don't see it again, and it's one of those things that it makes you want more. You're addicted and you want more of it. It's like you want more of it. You want to see it again, and it can drive you nuts.
No, it definitely can. It's very hard to explain until you're and I wasn't even in a situation where I had a sighting, but I can get it where it does become a thing where it's constantly on your mind. You find yourself dreaming about the area. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but it is very, very weird, the stuff that can happen. Did anything weird start to happen to you after you had that interaction?
Not outside of the sleep, while I couldn't sleep. Not really after that. I felt more. It's weird because after the nights I couldn't sleep, I had more of a peace with it. Like I'm peaceful with it. Like I know. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. But I'm like I have more of a more open. My soul feels more open to after seeing. Like I feel more like open minded about everything that I thought I knew.
If you are fortunate enough to have another sighting, have you thought about how you want to make sure you react during that sighting next time?
I think next time what I want to do different, if I do get to see one again, if I'm lucky, is just watch this, just like sew my hands so they know I don't have anything. So they know I'm not going to hurt them, and they see what they do, and just watch it. I just want to see what it does and how it moves, and I just want to, I just want to feel connected to it.
Is that feeling where you just want to feel connected? Is that something that you've always had as one of your goals, or did that start coming into play after you had that sighting?
I've always had that connection that I wanted it, but when I had that sighting, it went up 20 times, and now I feel more close to him than I ever have.
Extremely interesting. You do have a few sounds that you were nice enough to send over. Do you mind if we play through those two sounds?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So hold on here. So what I'll do is I will play a sound, and then we'll have you provide commentary after the sound. Is that okay?
That's okay.
Right?
Sorry for the language.
Oh, you're good. It'll be edited out, so you're good.
No. So that's in a road. That's what I was just talking about, the rocks. How they didn't want us there. I think I was close to them. So that was in 2020, and we was there almost every other weekend, if not every weekend, just about, because the world at the time was shut down, and it was shut down. So we was out, and we weren't roped in, so we decided to go out, every weekend or so, like that. So we found this area. We didn't touch this area for a while before touching it again. This is when when we got there, and that night we was sitting, like I said, we was sitting in our chairs 360, and it was dead quiet. And like it was like dead quiet. We was talking a little bit. We did a few little knocks and stuff, and then we so when after, I think it was think that's, if I remember correctly, I think we did like a baby noise, like a baby sound out of Mike's Jeep radio. I think, if I remember correctly. And we was just curious to see what it would do. And when we did that, almost a few seconds later, that thing comes through this where I'm sitting at. The left side is a hill, a really big hill. It came to that hill with all these trees and hit Mike's Jeep in the back of his Jeep. That's why you hear that's why we jumped like that, because it was dead quiet. We didn't see it coming, and you hear the boom.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it sounds like it freaked you out of nowhere. How big was the rock that got thrown?
It had to be. We think we found it. And we think it was at least almost like a golf size. This a little tinier, smaller.
Wow.
And when that spot, you can't see your hands in front of you. Like where I'm sitting, you couldn't see any of the other members at all. You could not see them at all. That's how dark it is in that area.
Gotcha. So you don't have any lights coming in from other towns. It's just you're out there in the darkness. Yeah.
And we use red lights, and we only use the bright lights for emergencies. Red lights is what we use to get set up and then to move around. But we only turn the bright lights on when we're about to leave, or when we feel like we need to use it.
Sure.
We've had to use it a few times.
What are the times that you've had to use it? Was that because things got pretty intense, or for other reasons?
Things got very intense, and when you I got hit with how tigers have for sound. Yeah, I think they had those, and I got hit with that in that year. Not that same night, but that same year. I think it was in July. Is where I got hit by that, and it was felt like that night. It felt like the walls were closing in, and it felt like something was coming at me, and I was out of it. I was out of it for it felt like forever until it went away.
Oh man, so it sounds like you had the feeling of like you were almost prey, like something was coming at you.
Yeah, I did not like that feeling.
Wow. Did anyone else in the group experience anything as well?
They've had things happen. They've had things like that happen, but that night it was main. I think it was me that got it. I don't think any other ones got it that night, but I think they aimed for me.
Wow. I guess lucky you, but definitely not lucky you. I mean, that must not be an enjoyable situation to be in.
Yeah. I don't know if that's one thing don't think I ever want to experience again, because I don't like that feel. I didn't like that feeling.
When you guys are out there, do you ever talk to them directly or have any communication?
Well, we do. We'll talk to them. As a group, we'll talk together. Then we'll just talk to them. We'll try to say we would try to be friendly to them, and saying we brought you food and stuff, and try to be friendly with them. Now, and I think after we've gifted them that stuff, I think we haven't been back there since. Well, we haven't been back there since 2022 was the last time we went back there, because we had some new spots we've gone to, and the activities kind of died there a little bit. And I think after that they kind of calmed down a little bit. But after those rocks came, me and Miller had our stomachs turning. Like the next time we went there, our stomachs were turning like something was about to happen. Me and Mike's mindset is like, what if they knock a tree down on top of a car, or in front of a car, and we can't get out?
Or, I mean, what if they hit you in the back of the head with a rock? I mean,
yeah. And believe me, I think if they wanted to hit you, they can hit you with a rock if they wanted to.
Yeah,
I think a lot of it, they just want to mess with you and get you out of there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but if they want to hit you, they will hit you.
Yeah, but I think just from things I've heard, they're able to get people to leave a certain area before it turns into okay, now we're gonna hit you in the head with a rock. There's other things we can do to frighten you out of this area, thankfully. So
yeah.
Cody, we've got another sound here. I'm going to go ahead and play that, and then we'll ask for your commentary here.
Okay.
All right.
So that one was back in 2019 and someone's private property. So when you hear that woo, that like you can hear the coyote in the beginning of it, but when you hear the woo, that sustain of it, that is not a coyote. And it's the like to compare the audio, if you're there in person, sounded completely different. The audio does not do it justice.
That's extremely interesting. Let's play it one more time just so we can hear it after that commentary. Yeah, you can tell definitely a little bit. There's some different things going on there, some different sounds.
Like the length of that howl is just crazy, and that's one of the best recordings I've had. I've gotten with them. That's one of the best howls I've had.
Oh,
we get those the sounds like spike like up a little bit, like where we can hear it better from we have a sound guy that does it for us, and he clears out the back noise and all that and directs it and stuff.
So is that a sound that you were able to record yourself then?
Yes.
Oh wow.
That's probably the best howl I've had since going out.
Oh man. Wow. That is a very, very cool recording.
That was in October. That was in October of 2019. It's something about the fall that gets them going.
Oh yeah. I mean, that is a thing that I hear over and over again. You are potentially going to encounter some wild stuff if you go out in the month of October in certain areas. So just definitely that in July. July comes up a lot too for some reason.
Yeah, July we've had July special.
Oh yeah.
July and October for some reason it just seems to go off.
Do you have any theories about why July might be a popular month for activity?
Well, I think to me in Ohio, July it could either be really hot or it could be very rainy, or it could feel good. It's just Ohio weather, but I don't know what about it July. I don't know why I can't put my finger on why July when we do get that, like when stuff like that happens. But October, like October when the howls come out, like when they start howling, I think that's because the weather's changing, the seasons are changing, the air is more thinner than it is during the summertime, and that's when they're moving around to different areas to find where they want to go for like when it gets cold. When it gets cold out, and I think that's one of the times they want to go. They want to move around more. It's probably the best, and the deer season, and it's mating. I think it's almost mating season around that time for deer, so I remember correctly.
Interesting.
The deers move a lot in the fall, and in the fall a lot too.
Cody, has there been a time out there where it got pretty intense for you? Maybe not a visual per se, but I mean, things can get intense even without seeing a Bigfoot face to face.
Yeah, I think I've had a really with the rock domes really intense, but we like to split up, and one group stays back at the cars, and ones walk up the road a little bit, and we've had a lot of stuff happen that way. They don't like when you split up. They don't know what you're doing. And it freaks them out. And we've had rocks thrown at us from on one side to the other group to our side. A lot when we split up, it seems like they follow us around, like they parallel us. When you walk, they'll walk, and then when you stop, they'll stop. And it just feels like when you split up, they feel like they're locked on you, and they're there, and they're there.
These areas that you've been going to, are they also areas where there's a lot of Bigfoot sighting reports from non-researchers in these areas as well?
We get a lot of reports from the locals. That's where we get a lot of our reports from, because we've done library lectures up in the area, up around there, and we hear stories all around that area.
Do you remember any interesting reports that you have taken or your group has taken over the years in Adams County?
We have this one where what is it? What do we think? I'm trying to think here. We've heard of stuff like in the little, like there's a state of there's a state that like a forest, something like that. And there seems to be they'll get shot because there's lodge. They have lodges and stuff there, and that's in the Shawnee area. I think it's called Shawnee State Forest, something like that. They've had reports for so many years. I can't really remember off the top of my head the last have you talked to Donna?
As we were talking off air, I have talked to one female from your team. It was a younger female, and I'm not able to remember the name right now.
I can't remember. Well, Donna, I'll get her referral to you so you can get her on air so you tell you her story. She has a lot of good stories, okay. And I don't want to tell. She has a property that she has them on there. She has on a property. She has them on a property. So, and that's really in the last few years. That's probably been the best reports that I can remember that we've really had. That's really good in a while. We've had others, but I can't put my finger on last time we had a good one. Put my finger on it.
Yeah, I mean, I would appreciate that connection. I'd love to talk to her sometime. Does anything? I'm looking at a map and I noticed that in North Adams County, there's the Serpent Mound, right?
Yeah.
Is anything weird ever reported around that area?
See, around Serpent Mound, that's supposed to be a spiritual place, and that's and I've never been there. I want to go there. I haven't been there. I think Mike's been there, but I don't think I haven't been there. I want to go so bad. I can't. But I've heard some weird stuff happens there too. I'm not sure if it's this Bigfoot related. I think a lot of stuff related to that.
It might be interesting to check out. I know I would definitely be checking out that area if I was living down there, but it just sounds. I've heard some really interesting things happen from that area as well. Do you have any?
Maybe.
Go ahead.
Maybe you can get down to Ohio and we can take you out into some of the areas.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, the southwest corner, you guys have some crazy Bigfoot stuff going on. So
yeah,
I mean, someday I do have to get out to Ohio. I mean, I've driven past Salt Fork, haven't been able to stop. So it's like, oh man, I gotta
Salt Fork's
stop.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Do you have any goals for after things start to get warmer, any certain places you want to go out with the group again and see if you can get any activity?
I think we want to get back to that area where we seen all that sightings last October. I think we want to get back there. We have some other areas that we want to go. We want to go scout during the day so we know the land of it. And make sure we're not on. Make sure if it's private property, we get okay and all that. And but the main goal, the goal I want to do is I've been practicing on casting stuff, and footprints and stuff. I want to find I found a few footprints, but I can't master the casting yet. And my goal this summer is to try to get a good cast this summer. Try to figure out where I can find good prints at.
Absolutely. I think that is a great goal. Cody, it has been a pleasure to talk to you today. Thank you for sharing some sounds from your group as well. Do you have any final thoughts before we close out our time together today?
I want to give a shout out to I'll give a shout out to Mike Miller, Ohio Nite Stalkers, Donna Copus, Sabrina Sparks, Bev and Mac. They're my really good friends, and I love them. And they've taught me. And Mike Feltner, I give him a shout out. He's one of the whole Nite Stalkers are my mentor. Is what got me. They were my mentors of how gave me the ropes, and they took me under the wing and showed me all about it. And I appreciate it. I appreciate them so much more than they realize.
That's fantastic. Well, Cody, keep us in mind if anything happens in the future, and maybe we'll have to check in with you at a later date. But thanks again so much for coming on the show, Cody.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Just want to take a few minutes to say thank you to you, all my listeners, for listening to the podcast. Please take a minute to help out the show by subscribing on YouTube, making sure you hit the bell so you don't miss any notifications, and share the episode on YouTube with a friend. Also, if you're listening to us on a podcast, thank you so much. Make sure that you're subscribed, share the show with a friend. Really, it's all about sharing the show wherever you can. If you've had a Bigfoot encounter related to the following or know someone who has, please reach out to me at bigfootsociety@gmail.com or pass on my email. Here's a list: the Subtle Lake area of Oregon, Rainbow, Oregon, McKinsey Bridge area, Sweet Home, pretty much that entire area, the north part, if you get what I mean. I'll see you back next time, listeners. Sasquatch Summerfest this year, July 11th through the 12th. It's going to be fantastic. July 11th through 12th in Green Waters Park in Oak Ridge, Oregon. And listeners, if you're going to go, you can get a 2-day ticket for the cost of one if you use the code BFS, like Bigfoot Society, but BFS. And it'll get you some off your cost. Priscilla was nice enough to provide that for my listeners. So there you go. I look forward to seeing you there. So make sure you head over to www.sasquatchsummerfest.com and pick up your tickets today.